cause y'all know what it is.
TNN Trap News Network.
I was with Rich Trapper.
I flex with you. What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? Rich Trapper tapping in, TNN Trap News Network. Back in this thing, back in this thing. It's like cracking this thing here at TNN Trap News Network. It's that good news you can use. It's that good knowledgeito you're not finna get in nobody's collegeito. Make sure you hit that notification bell at the top. Hit all, stay tapped in for the latest and the greatest. Hit that like, hit that hype, hit that comment, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that share button for everything we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. Make sure you tap in. Leave a comment because we're going back to the chili giveaway. So when we get to 31,000 subscribers, we're going to make sure that we pick the best comment between now and 31,000 subscribers. We're going to give you some chili, big dog. So it's important that you comment. It's important that you comment. It's important that you comment. Once we get 31,000 subscribers, we're going to make sure that we let y'all know an exact date and exact time that we will be doing a live to give away that money. You got Cash App, you got Apple Pay, you got Zelle, you got Venmo. Don't worry about it. We're going to make sure you get that chili. Make sure you hit that like button, that comment, that good subscribe button. TNN Trap News Network. We taking it back to the basics, man. Y'all, what's the deal, y'all? We finna slide right into this conversation, man. We got DJ Akademiks sitting down with Vlad talking about Boosie dropping the ball. Let's get into it. Let's go.
Needs me to suit up. I don't know who's missing on the field, but I gotta come in here and drop 80. I'm here, Vlad. What's going on? What's going on in the kingdom?
Yeah, well, you know, the Aries Spears stuff is going to drop right around the same time this is dropping, so we're not going to talk about that because there's an hour of me talking about that. But I think the proper way to start this is the whole Boosie situation, which you jumped into as well, to the point where Boosie even responded to you at one point. What do you think overall of that situation?
By the way, I love the platform. So you said this before. All of us, like, you know, new media guys.
Those of y'all who don't know, Vlad was paying Boosie $25,000 per interview 4 times a year. So he'd do 4 interviews with Boosie at 4 interviews with Boosie a year at $25,000 a pop. That's $100,000. And off that $100,000, Vlad was he was giving Boosie $100, and Vlad was walking away with $40. So, you know, I'm not really sure why Boosie was upset about that, honestly.
We're all friends. We all trade ideas. We all speak. And I love for each platform, usually they have that one particular show or guest that they have some great synergy with. And when it comes to Vlad TV, it's obviously Boosie. We love watching Boosie on Vlad TV. We like Sean Cotton with Charleston White. Wack and Adam, they do a good job.
I wouldn't be shocked if Charleston White and Vlad hooked up. After Charleston White fell out with Sean Cotton and Vlad then fell out with Boosie, I wouldn't be surprised if them two dudes hooked up and started doing their own thing.
And I enjoy that. Now, I noticed I didn't see Boosie on for a while.
Yeah, about 7 months or so, yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things that we're usually saying, but what does Boosie think? What's going on with Young Thug? What's going on with Gucci? And, you know, me and you spoke, and we spoke privately, and you kind of told me what was going on, but I was just like, you know what? And you know, this been my conversation with you. I said, hey, listen, it's going to work it out. And you know, and I don't know if you'll admit this now that we're on camera, but when you've kind of even given me the situation, I'm like, you know what? You know, Boosie's like, he's such a really good guest for you. I think you guys are so special. This is such a special connection. I get it because I understand like his side of stuff, but I understand your side. Sometimes you have to like take the loss a little bit just to make him feel good, but you got to keep the show going. And it felt like it was, you know, I kept encouraging like, you guys are going to work it out. And you know I've said that to you. You guys are going to work it out.
Right, and I just want to say that you knew about my situation with me and Boosie.
Yes.
Probably weeks before Boosie, you know, went public with it. But we kept it quiet.
Yes.
When I told you, I said, listen, this is what's happening. Don't say anything.
Yep. Facts.
Because it might blow over, but even if it doesn't, that was personal business conversations with me and Boosie, who I still respect, who I still consider a friend. So don't say anything, but, you know, me being friends with you, you knew about it. So it was no shock when it came out.
And I thought it was going to resolve itself. And the moment I seen Boosie make the comment, well,
when Boosie took it to the internet, that is what took it too far. Once you put it out there for public consumption and then you challenge Vlad publicly, he has to stand on business publicly. And once things are made disrespectful publicly, it's hard to resolve them behind closed doors. A lot of things can be forgiven. A lot of things can be talked about behind closed doors because there's no ego and no public opinion involved. But once you involve the public into your private, it's all ugly, big dog.
Do my own interview.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, he's still
but he said, not Vlad.
Yes.
He threw my name in it.
But I'm like, he's still being a little bit evasive. And then he finally came out and said, well, I'm not doing Vlad because of $5,000.
Yeah.
And this is where I knew you were put in the ultimate pickle. And that being, the fans don't know what the actual business is behind you working with someone like Boosie.
Mm-hmm.
I know. You've told me, hey, listen, I'm paying this guy, paid him $25,000.
Yeah.
That's top dollar for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's people can get a Boosie verse, from what I've heard, I don't want to, mess up his rates, for less than $25,000.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I heard that too.
So you are doing an interview that's helping to promote him. I've always, me and you have slightly different business models. You will compensate your guest. Me, I'll wait till the guest needs me for the promotion because I look at it as it's like a quid pro quo, as they call it, right? It's like, hey, listen, well...
Yeah, I can see where Akademiks is saying it's kind of like one hand washing another. Vlad is doing it on some, hey, I'm trying to make sure I get the best, so I'm going to pay for the best, and I'm going to get what I need for my money. I'm not mad at it. Akademiks is doing it more so on a favor for a favor. You know what I'm saying? You need me, I need you. There's no wrong way in either one.
I'm helping promoting your product, and you are giving me content for my platform. And that's the kind of invisible handshake, even though I know these days it's much more than that. That's why you involve compensation. So when I'm looking at that with Boosie, I'm like, okay, all right, you guys are going to figure it out. And the 25K is a really good figure. Once he says the 5,000, I'm like, what does Vlad do here? And I was surprised, but actually proud of you slightly, because transparency is always the key online. I've always told people, if you want to talk, I could talk about anything. I'm just going to say the things that you probably were thinking I wasn't going to say. Because you're saying, I thought that was private. And you did that. You came out with the facts. Hey, he's getting $25,000. I think the moment fans' ears heard that, they weren't on Boosie's side anymore. Boosie did a really good job of saying 5,000, where people probably thought that.
Yeah, once they heard that Vlad was getting 10 and Boosie was getting 25. I'm sorry, Vlad was getting 10 and Boosie was getting 25. Niggas weren't on Boosie's side no more. That's more.
Maybe he's only getting 5,000 and he wants another 5,000.
Or maybe he's getting 50 and 5,000, just a little 10% bump. Because because listen, no.
I don't think they thought he was getting 50.
Well, hold on. I didn't mention this before, but if you watch the Breakfast Club interview with Boosie, he said, I get $500,000 a year doing Vlad TV interviews. Remember, I made a little GoFundMe page to make fun of that? I said, yo, man, I can't afford to pay Boosie $500,000. I need a GoFundMe. Some people actually donated. I stopped and gave people their money back. I was trolling. But yeah, he said that he makes $500,000 a year doing interviews with me. So, and I'm thinking that when he's throwing that out, because it's like, well, $500,000 a year is as for 5,000. That's like 1%. Like, why are you being so cheap? And everyone's like, yo, man, Vlad, pay Boosie's 5,000. You gonna make it back. He's made more than that. People started attacking me over that comment.
But by and large, in part, I'm gonna be honest, people are fucked up out here, man.
Yeah.
I think most of the conversations and comments I saw were people saying, yo, dude, you sit at your house, which you also kind of really accurately painted how much effort he has to put in. You
Zero.
Maybe walk into a room that is at your house. You've set up all the equipment. You've flown thousands of miles. You've brought all the people, and he has to talk to you for 2 hours, and he gets a $25,000 check. And I think people looked at that and said, okay, all right, we get it. You wanted a raise, but it's more to the story, because when you first said it was over 5,000, you made it seem as if maybe you weren't being fairly compensated in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, people are fucked up out here. 25,000, and another thing, which is not necessarily a gripe at you, because I'm not necessarily in that business, but I've told you this many times, Vlad. I said, these problems you're having, you created yourself. You created an infrastructure in a market. a lot of, not only for your own selfish purpose, you wanted to compensate fairly the people that worked with you. Mm-hmm. But what happened is that then you start a whole market where people start watching other people's paycheck. They start watching your pockets, because when you could pay them 25, they're wondering, people have this saying that if they pay you 25, they're getting 3 times more.
Right.
So now they're watching you.
Yeah.
And that turns into, the moment you said you paid Tekashi 6ix9ine,
But why does it matter what he paid Tekashi 6ix9ine? Tekashi 6ix9ine brings in a viewership that Boosie doesn't. You feel me? So it's like when Boosie comes in, we love the audience that Boosie brings in. And we're not taking away from that audience, but Tekashi does bring in a more global audience. People can love him, people can hate him, but he brings in that global audience. He brings in that Spanish audience. He brings in a group of people who otherwise may not have watched Vlad TV. It's safe to say that Boosie fans are going to watch Vlad TV regardless of.
Most ever. Mm-hmm. Everybody probably started to look around and say, who was the previous guy who got paid the most ever, and what do we think it is?
Yeah, I really feel that the business relationship ended with Boosie being jealous of 6ix9ine's appearance fee, and then Harry Spears got jealous of Boosie's appearance fee.
Domino effect.
It was like a domino effect, but I'm okay with that because I'm down to be transparent. And when I'm transparent, and when you look at the numbers, and remember when I threw out, I'm like, he gets about 5.5 million views, and this is about how.
I feel like everybody's appearance fee is contingent on the viewership that they bring in, and what they make is contingent on how much they bring in. Like why would Boosie get paid what Tekashi get paid if Tekashi bring in more? Why would Ari Spears make what Boosie make if Boosie bring in more? Like everything should be contingent.
Much be around 35,000. Maybe a little more once you cut expenses, but it only is about $10,000 profit margin. Like no one said, Vlad's lying. He's really making 10 times that. You have a whole YouTuber community out there that knows these numbers, including yourself. No one said Vlad's lying. He's really pocketing way more than that. He's being cheap. No one said I was lying. Not a single person. And the thing with Boosie was that, and I don't think I've mentioned this before, when we first started the conversation, the first thing he said was, Vlad, people are DMing me and saying that they're going to cancel their paid subscription if I don't come back on. They're all going to cancel, Vlad. They're canceling their paid subscription. And this is what I mean about making business decisions based on comments or DMs.
Yeah, Boost, you can't make a decision off that. You can't, that's not it. You can't say, they said it in the comments. Like, but we're not taking that too serious.
Or something your man tells you. Like, you don't base business decisions on there. Because I think in Boosie's head, he's thinking, man, all these people are paying Vlad for paid memberships. For me, they're all there for me. Well, I'm going to start my own Patreon.
Boosie thought it was bigger than the program.
And they're all going to come to me.
Vlad, you've been keeping kid gloves with him, and he's been keeping kid gloves. Because I could tell y'all love each other. Yeah. But still, Boosie thought it was bigger than the program, right? Like, let's be honest. Again, we love Boosie, and that's the thing. Because he even, when he aimed some comments at me, he was like, well, you're Vlad's boy, this and third. I'm like, listen, there's no other way to actually look at this, right? And I tried to look at it another way. Because a lot of times when you deal with people who have helped businesses through its growth, they'll use these non-tangible things to put to a worth. When you come up and you say, hey, listen, you did 4.5 million views. This is what the numbers is. If this is how the percentage is, this is what you get and I get. This is what overhead is to create.
Yeah, and that's the only thing that genuinely makes sense. Like, what's the overhead with this? What's the revenue being created? It's a lot that goes into this. People don't remember. People don't mention the fact that Vlad has to do travel. Vlad has a team. Vlad has to get equipment, or when he gets out there, rent equipment, or whatever the case may be, travel with equipment. All that shit costs money, bro. Like, all this is
all this stuff. There is no conversation. He won't even talk the numbers. So that's when people use intangibles to actually try to, massage what they actually want. These are the intangibles. Well, I made you cool.
Yeah.
Well, the black community didn't like you. Yeah. I made you. You know how many rappers called me? And when they called me, they were like, why you rock with that guy?
Yeah.
And those are like the intangibles where he's saying, for whatever I'm asking you that doesn't make sense on paper, I need to be compensated that way. Right?
Yeah.
And, I've always said, listen, I understand those intangibles, but a lot of times
Because
people.
here's the thing too: if you signed a contract and the contract stipulated that you would do 4 interviews a year for $25,000, then that's what the contract stipulated. If you feel like later on you should renegotiate said contract, renegotiate said contract. But I don't think that is worth losing what it's looking like 8 hours a year for $100,000 over this. You feel me? I think that Boosie's making a pretty irrational decision based off ego more than anything.
People start feeling that they're valued that when their numbers start dipping. Right?
Yeah.
It's not that
Which his numbers did. His numbers have dipped over time. The pandemic, his numbers were crazy. Now the numbers are a fraction of that.
So
that's life.
Like, put it like this, and I made like an analogy, right? You know, I don't know your numbers necessarily. I don't know if it's true, but I said there was probably a time where when Boosie was a regular guest on a particular given month, when he had an interview, maybe his views for that interview constituted about like 30% or maybe 40% of your overall channel views. This is way back, right? I said now, when he does an interview, it's probably 10%, maybe less for that month, because you have grown. The business has grown. You have a lot more known and also frequent guests that also give valuable insight that also do numbers. Maybe not Boosie numbers, but does numbers enough that could sustain. Maybe 2 of those equal a Boosie or 3 of those.
Right.
And what that does is that what Boosie's thinking his value is, your value when you're bringing in 10 million views and the channel does 20 versus you bringing 8 million views and the channel is now doing 60.
Right, but let me just put it in context for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we do.
But I will say this too: everybody's numbers dropped dramatically during COVID. So to say that, during COVID, my nigga, COVID was 6 years ago, bro. COVID is over with. We ain't got to bring that up no more.
Do tens of millions of views every month.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we did like close to 400 million views last year. So very few guests just move the needle completely, right? They just don't, because you're also looking at an 18-year catalog, and certain videos in that catalog are still getting views. Now, it's not so much...
You're the king of flashbacks, too.
Yeah, but the flashbacks don't really do that well.
Man, well, the amount of times I've seen this goddamn Gucci video is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, because
like,
Gucci's in the... and I've never had a real Gucci interview outside of that one, so that's what I'm going to use. But the thing is that the catalog itself continues to get views, especially like the life story pieces on people, like the evergreen content. Now, with Boosie, it's not really evergreen content. It's what are the current events happening right now? When he said, yo, my grandkids aren't going to make any money and you're going to still be making money off my videos. Like, I'm really not. I'm really not. Like, the videos we do are for the moment.
I can see the logic, but I don't think that Boosie handled the situation the best way he could have. With that all being said, man, we finna get up out of here. Red dots to the left. You know the rest. We gone.
Protest the air, Smith. We on the air, protest the air at our best. You know that, man. Off the air. You know what I'm saying? We out here, ground zero for the neighborhood hero. We got all 4 corners. TMC, the marathon definitely continues. Mr. Burger right here, live in the flesh. We out here, man. Trap news. You know that, nigga.
Apollo Jackson. Dangerous. Can't come outside when it's dangerous. Work all in the floorboard. Tell the ops check the scoreboard. You can't come outside when it's dangerous. And if you shoot, you ain't miss. A nigga ball like game 6. A nigga ball like game 6.
You can't come outside when it's dangerous. Gotta get the blicky when it's dangerous. Young niggas, we done came from Nathan. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. Ballin' like us niggas up in game 6. Missy with the bush and you can save it. Ballin' like us niggas up in game 6.
Game 60 bands on my neck when I got it on me. And I remember I was broke, I never let him hold me. Final seconds with my back against the wall. 81 points strong with this K, I call it Kobe. Running through this lettuce, nothing you can tell it. Gotta watch my back, I know that they get jealous. Real shit, I got rich, ain't gotta embellish. Real life made men, they call us good fellas. And I ain't got anxiety, I know it's intuition. May never love a bitch, but I for sure play my position. I know the streets talking, I'm cracking, so I ain't tripping. I said I play for keeps, but I guess them niggas ain't listening. Sick like Jordan, call it game 6. Shoot like Curry, and I can't miss. Nah, you can't come outside when it's dangerous. You niggas never outside when it's
can't come outside when it's dangerous. Gotta get the blicky when it's dangerous. Young niggas, we didn't get from Nathan. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. Ballin' like us niggas up in game 6. Missy with the bullshit, you can save it. Ballin' like us niggas up in game 6.
I've been winning, tell my ops check the scoreboard. Money in the attic, work all in the floorboards. Late night, that's the life that we pray for. Overtime with the pack is what we in the game for. Put myself in the game and everything is just a memory. Made a couple plays for the pain, not an enemy. Gotta watch my friends more, I gotta watch the enemies. Fake is hella fake, I know what enemies intentions. I let it go until it click if I'm aiming. Started staying safe and ended up staying dangerous. Game on the line, see the pressure I can take. Hall of Fame shit, so if it's mine, I'ma take. Niggas sick like Jordan, call it game 6. Niggas shoot like Curry and I can't miss. Niggas never outside when it's dangerous. Niggas never outside when it's dangerous.
You can't come outside when it's dangerous. Gotta get the blicky when it's dangerous. Young niggas, we didn't get from Nathan. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. Ballin' like us niggas up in game 6. Missy with the bullshit, you can save it. Ballin' like us niggas up in game 6. You can't come outside when it's dangerous. Gotta get the blicky when it's dangerous. Young niggas, we didn't get from Nathan. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. Ballin' like us niggas up in game 6. Missy with the bullshit, you can save it. Ballin' like us niggas up in game 6.
Safe like Jordan, call it game 6. Shoot like Curry and I can't miss. You niggas never outside when it's dangerous. You niggas always inside when it's dangerous. Shoot like Curry and I can't miss. Niggas sick like Jordan, call it game 6. Niggas never outside when it's dangerous.